Today Android Gamespot is bringing you 10 of the best open world offline Android games that you must play in 2017. That doesn't mean they were released in 2017, but they are must play. Number 10, Radiation Island. Simple touchscreen controls and intuitive menu interface set you up to live out a weird and frightening story while putting your survival skills to the test. There are plenty of chances to hone these skills while collecting raw materials such as wood, stone, and plant fibers and turn them into useful items such as axes, torches, and protective clothing. There is a lot to do in Radiation Island, and exploring the ruins and forests on offer is an engaging, often tense experience. Some might find it a little too empty or a little too hands-off, but if you're looking for an entertaining wander through the ruins of humanity, then you could do a lot worse. For $2.99, Radiation Island is a massive and immensely enjoyable experience. Number 9, Exiles 0, a free open-world 3D RPG from Crescent Moon Games in which you must attack robots, alien creatures, and also travel to deserts on vehicles to get to your mission goals throughout the storyline. What I like about this game the most is there are no in-app purchases. Everything is given to you at no cost, although there are advertisements in this version as well. You are free to roam where you want and when you want at your own heart's whim. Although the choice of locations you can actually go to are very small, but let me tell you this, there aren't that many great free open world 3D RPGs on Android that you can also play offline, so this right here is sort of a gem. The game can be finished within a few hours and the end just feels kind of dull, but if you don't mind that, I'll definitely recommend it. Number 8, Six Guns, and we know game love to take inspiration from elsewhere in the video game world, and Six Guns borrows plenty of ideas from Rockstar's popular Red Dead Redemption. You're thrown into a large sandbox style world and expected to complete 40 different missions. Success earns you cash with which you can purchase new items and upgrades. While the premise may boast Gameloft's traditional lack of originality, the visuals are also in tune with the company's usual standards. In short, they're fantastic. Six Guns looks amazing, with detailed character models and breathtaking scenery. The only drawback is that it does tend to lag a little when there's a lot of action going on. Number 7 is Aralon, Forge and Flame, which is the latest release in Crescent Moon Games series of mobile RPGs, and is also a sequel, or sort of, to 2010's Aralon Sword and Shadow. Aralon Forge and Flame is an open-world 3D RPG in which you follow quests, explore dungeons, cities, and caverns, and you are tasked with finding the evil bastards who killed your father, all while bringing peace to the kingdom of Aralon, or something like that. If you played the earlier Aralon Sword and Shadow, then there's some good news for you. The on-screen controls are much smoother and easier to use in this one. The inventory, skill, and character screens make better use of your phone or tablet screens, which make them easier to navigate and interact with. If you liked Aralon Sword and Shadow, then this new game fixes two of the biggest issues with the older title. Number 6 is Beast Quest, which is a third-person action-adventure game that takes its cues from games like Infinity Blade and the Zelda series and adds a good dose of RPG fetch questing for good measure. It makes for a pretty entertaining experience for the most part at least, but there are some sizable niggles, most notably repetition, that keep it from achieving greatness. The game is split into two parts, exploration and combat. When you're exploring, you push a button in the bottom left to move forwards and swipe a finger around the screen to change direction. It's a great system and it works really well, bypassing a lot of the problems of third-person movement on touch screens. There are chests to open, secrets to find, and items to collect, all by tapping on them. If you like games like Zelda or Infinity Blade, you can't go wrong with this one. Crashlands is our number 5, and it is one of those games that can be a little overwhelming to begin with. It's huge, with tons of things to do, and while it pokes you in the right direction, it doesn't hold your hand. It's not the most original concept either. There are shades of Minecraft, Don't Starve, and plenty of other survival games here, but Crashlands isn't afraid to stalk out in its own directions either. and that makes for a compelling experience. It ditches the loneliness of other games and replaces it with the same silly sense of humor that resonates throughout all of Butterscotch Shenanigans' work. In a way, the game is the culmination of several ideas we've seen in other Butterscotch games, and it brings them all together in a brilliant, stunning looking way. And on top of all of that, it's a stupid amount of fun. If you're looking for a mobile game to lose yourself in more ways than one, then Crashlands is pretty much the perfect place. Number 4 is Gangstar Vegas, and you may not know this, but it's following on the heels of Gangstar West Coast Hustle, Gangstar Miami Vindication, and Gangstar Rio. Gameloft's latest Gangstar entry, Gangstar Vegas, brings the largest environment in the series by virtually recreating everybody's favorite city of sin, Las Vegas. Gangstar Vegas is, in most ways, identical to Grand Theft Auto, from the way the missions are given, to the dialogue while driving, to the types of missions available. The game also doesn't drastically change the way the other 3 Gangstar games played, but it does refine some mechanics from the previous ones. Gangstar Vegas is a great open-ended game with lots of variety and lots to do, and it will keep you playing. The dialogue, which is only marred by the acting, is humorous, as are the news reports and the in-vehicle conversations. The races will keep you coming back, and if you're anything like me, the graphical glitches and inconsistencies won't keep you from trying to achieve a perfect 3-star rating on each and every race, challenge and heist, for the sole purpose of seeing your game completion status jump to 100%. Number 3 is Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, which is an incredible game in all respects. It's an exceptionally well designed game from top to bottom, and it manages that while offering up some innovative mechanics and the usual top shelf Oddworld production values. This is without question the developer's best game. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath is one of those wonderful little gems that too many people missed out on when it first came out in the original Xbox. It was an amazing game then as a full-priced retail console game, and it's every bit as awesome now on a mobile device. The price feels like a steal for a game of such substance. The only real thing I can say against it is that if you can't deal with virtual controls and don't have an MFI controller, you might run into trouble here the same way you would with any game with virtual buttons. Other than that, this is a huge, beautiful, unique game with excellent gameplay design. There's truly almost no competition in its category on Android. Now go and bag your bounty, stranger. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is our number 2, and Rockstar has gone to great lengths to ensure that the game supports updated textures, draw distances, and lighting that live up to the potential of modern mobile gaming devices. But many elements such as character models and mission structures can't help but show their age. Still, in this mobile port's every bit as fun as playing the original if you have the gamepad to support it. But the touchscreen control, while competent, are not the best way to play. At $7 for some of the most memorable gaming content of the last decade though, it's probably a risk worth taking. And before we dive headfirst into the winner of this category, let's check out some honorable mentions. Number 1 is Bully. For Rockstar, Bully is a bit of a cult classic. It still holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts, but compared to the likes of GTA and Red Dead, it doesn't have the same sort of gravitas. But there's still an excellent game here. It's well written, well acted, and shows the panache and spirit that Rockstar has become known for. It's a little rough around the edges as you would expect from a game of this age, but it's still an intriguing and impressive glimpse back at the history of one of the world's foremost developers. There's just something about Bully that makes it a joy to play, whether it's the sarcastic quips of your schoolmates, the minigames that makes up your school day, or the cast of slightly demented characters you have to deal with. If you've never played this gem from the archives, then mobile is a great place to start. This is a slick, well-polished port that you're only going to be too happy to lose hours of your life in. And try it with a gamepad if you can, cause it's definitely much better. And we've reached the end of our top 10 open world offline Android games that are must play. Have you played some of these games? Do you have any favorites? Did we leave any games out? Let us know in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed this video, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up as it helps us out more than you can imagine. And if you're a mobile gamer, subscribing is a pretty good idea since we make a bunch of new videos every week. This is Ben, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time right here on Android Gamespot.